Memories of music is my mother singing opera, not in the opera houses, but at home. She'd just go around the house and, well, she would just sing opera songs, different arias. And then in our house, we'd sing German folk songs. We were in Germany, that's where I came from. And then I remember Christmas time, we'd, have German Christmas songs getting sung. Then we came to America in 1950 when I was 9. First, we lived upstate New York. And soon we got, is it called a Victrola? Or it was a record player that played 45s, those little records. And my parents bought opera, like from La Traviata, da 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 da, or Maria Lanza, be my love, for no one else can end this yearning. So that's the kind of music we had going. And I remember I wanted the neighbors to hear, so I'd open up the windows and let the curtains blow out in the wind, and this loud music would flow down the road. It was kind of nice. But what I left out was when we came to America on the ship, the SS Washington, I couldn't speak a word of English. But there was a girl assigned to our cabin that my mother had to watch over that was coming to America, a teenager. And she was from America. She was returning. And so she had us going around the ship singing, she'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. And so that was the beginning of my English. But we just marched, 4 girls, arm in arm around the big ship, and that's what we would be doing. Okay. Then we moved to New York City. And my mother kept, singing her opera. She had more space then to sing. So we heard some really good things. But the other thing that happened is we began to make fun of our mothers singing. And at that time in your schools, if they showed a movie with opera in it, they'd all giggle. And so we kind of began to make fun of our mom, and she stopped singing her opera, which I regretted later. And then I joined the church when I was 16 in Manhattan. And I always thought, I can sing. So I got in on their choir. This was a choir, whoa. There's a Robert Peterson, don't know if you know him, but he was at the Metropolitan Opera Chorus. He took the lead of, took the place of Robert Goulet in Camelot on Broadway, was in our ward. Amazing things. And so he was in that choir. So were people from Juilliard. And what other places would you say?
Music.
Beautiful, beautiful music. Broadway shows, people that were in there. And then there were people like me, And there was a Lucretia Ferry, sang beautiful. She came from the West to study voice. And I sat next to her, and I just hit the note a split second after her, because at that time I knew either to go up or down based on the notes that I was seeing. But that really got me going. And then in time, my husband came from Florida. He joined the church in Florida a year before. Then he came to New York to go to school. And he's got a whole story on his own. Very wonderful, wonderful tenor, trained tenor. Was in Kismet, stuff like that. So then we both sang with a choir. And as we remembered last night, that choir, it was like a miniature Mormon Tabernacle choir. It was amazing. And then they were asked to sing at the World's Fair. So that in 1964. So then I remember as we were dating, and we'd be on the subway, and it was 2 hours. Like if he would come from Brooklyn to the Bronx, it was 2 hours. So if he took me home after church, it would be an hour from church. And he would sing to me, A, you're adorable. B, you're so beautiful. C, you're a cutie full of charm. D, you're a darling. And E, you're exciting. And F, you're a feather in my arms. And so on. So there's music there. So then in time we moved to, and then we moved to Brooklyn. We were married, and there was a branch president's wife there, and she was the only one that knew how to lead music. And she decided there needed to be more directors. So she got about 20 of us together. We met every Sunday, and we learned how to lead music with the upbeat and the holds, and that has been such a help. Every place I've lived, to know how to do that, and Jean learned how to do that also. So has been fun. The other thing,
people have benefited from that.
Oh yes. And then the other thing that I'm thinking is all those years, so I've been singing with a choir for 54 years in every ward we've been in. And what that has done is, you go, oh, it's not like like a congregation singing this song this Sunday, this one that way. You're going over the song and over the song and over the song, maybe for a month before you perform that song, and those words become a part of you. It's like having the scriptures and that, and that's when you talked about hardships in your life. Yes, those words come to you when you need them. Whoa, what was I thinking of just the other day? The song, Believe in God and that He is. You know that one? Okay, stuff like that comes to your mind, and it's because all those times of practicing that song, and not just that time, but maybe if another year again, it becomes a part of you. Then my husband was hired to teach nursing at Rick's, and there we had the most amazing choir director, Clyde Luke, who was over the a cappella choirs at Rick's. And he was our ward music director, and he got blood out of you. I mean, he expected you to sing just as well as his a cappella students, or, you'd be in trouble. And he would choose us to sing a song that became our song. Jesus, name of wondrous love, name all other names above. And then we had very good voices. And that became our song. And I would start it, then Jean would come in, then the choir would come in, and then at the end, there was a beautiful ending where you sing and then I come in. And that became our song. So whenever that was done in Rexburg in our ward, it was ours to do. So when we moved 10 years later and went back to visit, this one lady, Barbara Yowsey, said, you know what? It just isn't the same when they sing that song. It's supposed to be you singing it. So there's that. And then oftentimes I've been the ward music chairman or in Relief Society and done the music spotlights. And one year I was trying to tell the ladies about the different composers. And I came across something by Brahms where he said, the only music that will last into the eternities is music composed under the Spirit of God. I think that's true. So, and then we had grandchildren. Well, we had children first. The first one came in 66. Then 46 to 35, there's 5. And then I never liked that song, Rockabye Baby, where the baby falls down from the tree. So I've changed the words, because why not? So mine goes like this. Rockabye baby, baby so dear, close your sweet eyes, there's nothing to fear. Gently I'll rock you ever so mild, till you're asleep, my dear little child. So I like that better. So then our kids have used it, our and we really raised our grandchildren, 3 of them here. And at nap time, one would want that to be sung, and the other one wanted I'm a Child of God, and the other one wanted Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. So, and then we were at an event. My husband had pancreatic cancer in '93, had his pancreas removed. Long story, survived 19 years later. And so he likes to keep really busy. He just feels he's got to give back because he's still around. He's very involved in many different organizations. And we went to an event at ISU, and the ISU Children's Choir performed. Be wonderful. And we thought, oh my gosh, our grandkids, 3 girls here in town, need to be in on something like that. So we treated them to that. And they were in it, each one from like when they were 5 to they were like 13. Oh, did they learn beautiful harmony. And and they each sing different parts. One can sing tenor and one alto, or second alto and first alto, and soprano, and oh, their voices. And then eventually, their mother sings well too. They were all in Sweet Adelines. Beautiful. And Erin, she's the youngest. She's now going to be 17. She would carry the lowest notes, Oh, and they really needed her. So that was nice to see that what we started, carried over. We still sing with our ward choir and state choir when we do it. It's wonderful. We have some amazing directors when we have a state choir. course, now we just have that about once a year. The others are by satellite. But when that is the case, we get in on that. So anyway, I think that's about it. So music has been important. I mean, I can't imagine subtracting that from my life.
It sounds like that it's brought a lot of amazing people into your life as well.
And experiences.
You were telling me about some of the people that when you worked on campus, you were part of the snow building.
Well, see, my boss was my husband had to get his master's. I had to go back to work. He was in Pocatello all week. I had to work 8 to 5 children, from 13 down to 3. But I had worked as a secretary at BYU, economics department, and worked as an executive secretary at the corporate offices of the JCPenney company in New York City. Mr. Penny was on the 45th floor. The whole skyscraper was JCPenney, no stores, all departments. And I was on the 41st. Okay, so I was good at that kind of thing. So I was hired.
Take shorthand as fast as you can talk.
So then when I needed to work, they hired me at Rick's, division secretary. And my boss was Randall Miller, and he was the division chairman over music, foreign language, communications, humanities, foreign language, English. There were 7. If I left any out, I'm sorry. And so during his tenure, the division chairman have that position for 5 years. And then they kind of go back into the woodwork as a faculty member. And so during that time, the snow building was being built. And then, of course, Lamar Barris's mother, Ruth Barris, the main concert hall is named after her. And so my boss had to take the blueprints every now and then, go over there, and I'd have to go with him across campus and see how things were coming and if it was being done according to the plan. So that was during his time. And Lamar Barris was at the time the chairman of the music department. But he also was the head of the symphony. And then his place was taken by David Chugg. And then in time, Lamar Barris's hearing from the high volume of the symphony was affected, and he could no longer do that. So he became the head of the Rick's radio station, whatever it was called. And that's where he would introduce the program that he was in charge of, talking about different composers and their backgrounds and their music. And it would start with, "For my soul delighteth in the song of the heart. Hear the song of the righteous is a prayer unto me." Anyway, that's what he wrote, and that's what he would play as he would introduce this. And this brings up something very interesting. When we were in New York, there was a lady that sang with the choir named Inga Johnson, tall lady. She also played organ beautifully. So the years go by. It's 20 years later. My husband was hired at Rick's. We go to Badger Creek for a faculty picnic. And there's this lady walking ahead of me, and I could think she looks familiar. She looks familiar. Who could she be? We go to church on Sunday. She's at the organ. It hits me. Oh my gosh, Inga Johnson from Manhattan Ward. She was teaching in the music department at Rick's, teaching opera at Rick's. So anyway, so interesting events.